Hi guys, welcome to the session. Can you hear me and see me? So I've just started the session now. I guess you should be able to come across me, or you should be able to see me now in a few seconds. Yeah. So the question that emerges from our previous discussion, we have talked about the we've talked about extensively about the what to learn in our earlier part of our discussion with respect to beliefs, habits, and other things that we talked about on the dimension of the what to learn. And as I mentioned to you earlier, the what to learn aspect of the learning to learn is perhaps the most important step in your journey of adult learning because once you identify that these are the specific beliefs I want to change. Good Sam, good Sudhanshu, welcome everybody, welcome Jatin. So once you identified what to learn, then you have moved yourself from the situation of or from the dimension which I talked about very early in this course, from the dimension of unconscious incompetence. You have moved to the stage of conscious incompetence, and for the most part, this journey or this movement is perhaps the most difficult movement in your self learning or your learning journey. When you move from conscious incompetence to unconscious incompetence to conscious incompetence, because after that, once you've identified something that you need to change in your either in your thinking or your internal dialogue, and we have talked about a few things or a few dimensions on which we need to identify the what to learn. Just to remind you, we have talked about the belief axis that you need to start moving on. I can't do this, I'm not good at doing this, to being able to move to the I can beliefs in a lot of dimensions. Second, we have talked about change of habits, and we also talked about managing your internal dialogue or listening to your internal dialogue, looking at what programming changes you need to do on your PAC model, etc. So these are 3-4 structures I've given you to actually learn or identify how to move from a certain point to the next in terms of being a learning individual. So today I want to focus on two things. The focus once the identification is done, key how should I learn, what should I learn, then the focus obviously shifts to the critical how to learn aspect. The focus shifts to how to learn. And when you shift your focus to how to learn, there are different models in which you can actually identify your learning processes. Uh, I'll come to your question, Jatin, a little bit later. There's a certain process through which you can actually change your belief. So what is the process of belief change? This is one of the dimensions in which learning has to happen for you going forward. So what is the process? What is the process? Can we define a step-by-step process, a flow chart for belief change? So when you talk about belief change, and this is what I'm looking at today, when you talk about belief change, so you basically are looking at an axis that is going from -1 to +1, and your most difficult. I have an answer to your question also, Jatin. So I'll come to that. But your most difficult part of your belief axis is, or the most structured, constructed part of the belief axis you should understand, is that the belief axis basically moves between I can't and I can. And movement from the left to right on this axis is what constitutes learning. And of course, below the belief axis, for every aspect that you work on the belief axis, or for every dimension on which you are working on developing a belief axis, there's a parallel dimension which I call as the identity axis. Now, what is the identity axis? The identity axis is again an axis that spans from a negative a very very firm negative belief to a firm positive belief. And the identity axis basically starts from when you start realizing I can't, and when it starts getting harder and harder for you to do something, the I can't starts shifting to I am not. And this is when a belief axis becomes completely stuck in stone. I can't speak in public. So this belief axis for anything. I can't speak in public, or I can't speak to strangers, and I am not a good speaker. It becomes an identity axis. So basically, when you close a belief for life and you tell yourself कि ये तो अब हो गया, मेरे से नहीं होता है, I can't do this, तो वो identity हो जाता है तुम्हारा. I am not a good speaker. And identity is basically if you define a negative belief as -1 on this axis, and identity somewhere which goes all the way to -10. A negative belief stuck in stone becomes like I can't, becomes a identity which is telling you I am not. I can't do well in my exam. I am not a good student. That kind of language you have amongst yourselves. And the other end of it, the I can, and the other extreme of the belief is where you come to the supreme self-belief point, which I've referred to earlier, where you talk about I am. So I can learn anything. I am a great learner. I have a very strong learning capacity, is where you are on the other end. And obviously, for most us, you want to be in this dimension, right? The belief axis, getting to the supreme belief point and reaching the point of I am becomes the identity for you. So you need to recognize when you're looking at a belief which you are wanting to change, you need to recognize the beliefs which are specifically at -1 and specifically in the context of what you're trying to do. If you want to be a public speaker, you want to speak in group discussions and personal interviews, and you have a I can't speak or I am not a good speaker, तो उसको वहाँ से shift करना पड़ेगा. Now, to understand how to shift it and what is the process of belief shift, you first need to understand कि what is the how does a belief get formed? So when you were a small kid, a small child, you did not know that I can't speak well. You did not know that I can't do maths. You did not know that you do not belong to the best of the generation. Right? So you did not know any of that. So how did you come to know all those things? I can't do well in studies. It's a very damaging belief. Yeah, as a student and as a person today who is trying to build a career in life, in a world where if you have a good academic career, the kind of track you latch on to in your life and in your job and in your future income possibilities is completely different. So I can't do well in studies. ये फॉर्म कहाँ से हुआ है? How did it form? So I'm just showing this to you on a sample belief, and then you can extrapolate to anything else. So because I think this is a common concern for most kids, and even those of you who are not kids and studying this or watching this course, because this course will be available on YouTube, and we'll be obviously talking to all of us, to all my all our audience. So there'll be parents and elders also looking at this and trying to guide their youngsters. So my question to myself or to you is, how did this belief form? And the answer to that, the structured answer to that, is that, Pranshu, no questions on CAT today, please. This is a session. You can join our Facebook group. वहाँ पे CAT का जो question पूछना है पूछ लो. We'll be answering that. The Facebook group is the CAT 100% Dialist Club. So you can search for it and come. It'll be there in the this thing, and you can also join the Arun Sharma Aptitude channel on Telegram. There's the Arun Sharma's Aptitude channel on Telegram. You can join that, or you can join the Facebook group for any CAT related questions. So today I'm not talking about that area. We will have CAT related sessions also here, but you can join this, the Arun Sharma Aptitude channel and the Facebook group. The Facebook group is the CAT 100% Dialist Club. You can find that and join both. Right. No issues. You don't need to be sorry, Pranshu. The Facebook group is the CAT 100%. I'll talk about it again at the end. The CAT 100% Dialist Club, and I'll be live on that for a lot of CAT related this thing. So how have your beliefs got formed? So the structured answer to that is experience. Your beliefs have got formed through your experiences. So you tried to do well in school, you tried to study, or you did not study too much. But basically, how I'm not a good student, I can't do well in studies. This got formulated through a series of results and experiences that you had through the results that you have got through your entire schooling life, through your entire college life. So the more experiences you had that have confirmed all this, your experiences that have kept confirming this for you have become your genesis or the reasons why you believe that. So I can tell you my own personal story. When I was passing out of college, when I was passing out of college, thank you for that, Pranshu, I was a very poor speaker. I could not speak at all. You put me in front of two people and I could not open my mouth. And I'm not talking about being a 5'8" with 10, 12 years old person. I'm talking about when I was 20, 22, this age. I even got through the IIM GDPI somehow and reached IIM Bangalore, but I still could not speak, could not open my mouth. And where did that belief get formed? How did that belief get formed? The belief got formed through experiences I had. So I remember two specific experiences in my early childhood where, and of course innumerable experiences in classrooms where you realize that speaking up to the teacher, asking the teacher something was a risk. So it was okay to be quiet and sitting in your seat, but the moment you speak up to the teacher, you talk to the teacher, you try to raise your hand, there's always a risk associated with that. And I remember a very, very particular elocution contest which I had taken part in class 2, and I was supposed to, it was a storytelling competition, and there's a story I had prepared for my this thing, and it was a Marathi storytelling competition. Marathi was anyway not my natural language. So I went to the stage, and when I went to the stage and looked in front of me, I saw 500 kids of junior school looking at me expectantly, क्या कहानी बताने वाला है? And I spoke the first statement, and then I froze. And when I froze, everybody started laughing at me. It was a bad experience. And around those times in my life, I made a mental decision that I should not speak, because all my experiences with speaking had been negative. All my experiences with speaking had been negative. So essentially, since and these experiences act like evidences in your mental court, the courtroom that is your mind. You take these experiences as evidences कि मेरे से नहीं होता है, मैंने देख चुका है, मैंने 50 बार कोशिश किया, मेरे से नहीं होता है, and you keep that as evidence in your mind, and that evidence is enough to buttress that belief. That evidence is enough to strengthen that belief. That evidence is enough to fertilize that belief to grow further. Yeah, I can't do this. So the only way to cut a belief, and this is where the how to learn, what is the process, what is the structured process to change beliefs. The only way to cut a belief is to create, and listen to this carefully, is to create opposite evidence. You have to create, first of all, put a question mark on the belief. Okay, I'm testing this again, can I do it or not? And then the most important component of it is create opposite evidence. Create evidence which is against what you have known for your entire life. And this opposite evidence can be one created, and other, it can also be found out from your past. So to a student like me, who while passing out of school and college would typically think about himself as an average student or below average student. I used to think about myself as a very, very average student going through school, and very clear mindsets that I can't be at the top of my class, I can't be at the top of my section, very clear beliefs, I can't be a good student, I am not a good student, getting down to the identity part of that. To such a person, I'll say, can you find one or two places in your life where you did well in academics? And I'm quite sure, if I look at it myself in my own life, even at the point where I was in class 10th and believing this way, that I can't do this, I have at least 3-4 instances of my school exams, maybe a unit test here or there, or maybe something where I got focused. And when I got focused, I suddenly, from a 20th rank in my section, I started coming second in my section. So this kind of evidences we need to discover, find, and then need to hang on to it. A simple example I'll give you. Suppose there's this, let's say we talk about a maths chapter. This will resonate with all the CAD aspirants here. Suppose we are talking about a maths chapter. I can't do algebra. I can't solve algebra. Right? Now this is a belief for a lot of people, and this belief has been buttressed or fertilized and strengthened by the evidences you have of your past when you did try to solve algebra and it didn't happen. And you have a lot of evidence for it to tell you this. So if I'm in your place, or if I'm trying to change this structurally, I will try to find small shoots of opposite evidence, either find them or create them. So if I'm sitting with a 50 question set on algebra, and out of those 50 questions I cannot solve 45, I cannot solve 45, but there are 5 questions which I could do. There are 5 questions which I could do. So as a person trying to go down this belief axis, I would rather hang on to this evidence than focus on the failures I've had in solving these questions. I will say that I can do 10% algebra and I'll hang on, and ये जो belief मेरा -1 पे फंसा हुआ है उसको मैं धीरे धीरे 0.99 पे लाऊंगा. I'll bring it to -0.99. I'll put a question mark on this. Really? I can't solve algebra? Let me try. And why belief change is important is very critical, because the moment you get to the I can, and there's a beautiful story, and this is an actual true story about elephants in South Indian temples. If you have ever seen elephants in South Indian temples, you would realize that have you ever seen them? This huge, hugely strong and mammoth piece of flesh, this elephant, is tied to this flimsy small chain, and that chain is inside is put into the ground. And if the elephant wants, you can see it, I can see it, anybody watching it can see the situation. If the elephant wants, it's going to be one tug of his foot, and the chain and everything will break. Even the hook in which the chain is put inside the ground will come literally rolling out. And yet, the elephant lives in that chain for his whole life. So what is the story there? The story is about belief. The story is completely about belief. And the story about belief is this. The story about belief is this, that the elephant had tried. The elephant had tried to open the chain. It had tried to break free of the chain when it was a baby. And when it tried to break free of the chain when it was a baby, it continuously tried to do it on a daily, day-to-day basis, and it realized that the chain is stronger. So imagine the situation. This is the elephant, this is the chain. The chain is stronger. The chain is stronger. And this belief continuously keeps building in his mind. The chain is stronger, the chain is stronger, the chain is stronger. And this belief keeps getting strengthened, nurtured on a daily basis. So one fine day, the chain is the same, but the elephant is this huge mammoth creature now. And in his mind, he is still thinking the chain is stronger because he has tried it earlier and he has got enough evidence, and he is never going to question this evidence. So you need to do 3 structured things when you want to change your beliefs. The first structured thing is you question your evidence. So to the Arun Sharma, who is a 19-year-old boy studying in engineering college, first year, second year, I will tell him, why do you think you are not a good student? Why do you think that you are not a great student? Why do you think you are not top of the heap? And he'll tell me that it's not me who thinks so. It is 15 years of my academic results. So and the evidence that result has given me. "15 years of academic results and the evidence that has given me." So I'll ask him to question that evidence, and I'll ask him, you are saying that your results have been bad and that's why you have concluded that you're not a good student, or you are not top of the heap as a student. So ये evidence किस basis पे बना है? My next question to him, what is this evidence based on? His answer would be that 18-year-old Arun Sharma will tell me, it's based on my results. It's based on my results throughout my life. And then I'll ask him this question. If it's based on your results, what do your results depend on? What do your results depend on? The answer to that will be my performance and how I worked. And then I'll ask him the question, how many times have you given your absolute best Your absolute best. You could not do anything more than that. How many times have you given your absolute best for the last 15 years of your life? And if you have not, then how do you say that this evidence that you are not a good student is set in stone, and hence this belief is set in stone? So question the evidence. Question the basis on which you have created the evidence. Many times it's the elephant story in our heads. We have experienced something, we have created a belief in the past. So that's the first angle to it, Pranshu, and everybody else. Question your evidence. Second, find contrary evidence. So I'll remind that Arun Sharma class 3 में second आए थे तुम, जब तुमने focus किया था. You can do it. Find contrary evidence. And I'll give you similar structures for both habits and all other kinds of learnings, etc. Find contrary evidence. And the third question, or the third thing that you do, is create opposite evidence. This is what you do structurally. Create opposite evidence. And as you start creating opposite evidence, as I told you, I can't solve algebra. You need to show yourself out of a set of 50 questions, you need to show yourself 5 questions that you could solve, and then hang on to that positivity of the 5-6 questions you were able to solve rather than focusing on the negatives. Create opposite evidence and hang on to the smallest shoots of opposite evidence that you have. Hang on to that opposite evidence as if your life depends on it. Literally उसको पकड़ के लटक जाओ उसके ऊपर. And do these 3 things. Gradually तुम्हारा opposite evidence improve करता जाएगा, open करता जाएगा. और उसके इस context में एक important part ये है कि जब तुम opposite evidence create करते हो, so there is the principle of what is called as the small manageable challenge. So that principle also you should be using. So if I tell myself that I can't run the marathon because I tried for the last 10 days and I failed, so the way I should plan my thinking or my creation of opposite evidence should be, okay, how much can you do? What is your current limit? So if my current limit is 2 kilometers for running, 2 kilometers in 15 minutes, and for a marathon at my speed, if I need to run 4 to 5 hours, and my current limit is only 10 minutes, so I'll ask myself, can you do 15? Don't try to do 4 hours, don't try to do 300 minutes at one go. Can I do 15? So tomorrow when I go onto the track, I will try to expand my limits by challenging myself to do 15. And obviously, willpower will come into the picture from 10 to 15. And if I use my willpower, I'll be able to get there. And when I start doing it, and I start doing it every day, 10 days later, my belief goes to 15 I can do. My earlier belief was I can do 10 minutes. Now my belief has gone to I can do 15 minutes. My earlier belief was that I can do 2 kilometers. My belief now has gone to 3 kilometers. And then you take a 25-minute challenge. Okay, now I can do 15. And now I'll try to move to 25. So keep taking small challenges. Don't try to take up a huge challenge, because if you are at a 2 kilometer limit in terms of your ability to run, and you try to do a 40 plus kilometer run, you will find even if you do 5, you will see it as failure. What we need to create are not failures, because belief change does not happen through failures. Belief change happens through successes. And these successes, however small they are, are very important in your journey in life. Right? So this is what I wanted to talk to you about, this angle. And so now, I'm done with the session for today. And Falak and Gaurav are asking me, good at practice. I do all the questions, but when it comes to I have to think too much about results. That's because your beliefs are not strong. The beliefs of solving under pressure, when things matter, they are not strong. So you need to Falak, and you both of you need to get your belief in terms of solving in maths. You need to get your belief level up. कि मेरे से होता है, मेरे से हो जाएगा, अंडर प्रेशर हो जाएगा. तो वो जब जब तुम कोई काम करना सीख जाते हो, और जैसे तुमने इसी इसी एंगल पे मैं तुमको दिखाता हूँ. सपोज तुम्हारा योर लेवल ऑफ रनिंग इज 2 किलोमीटर्स. सो दिस इज योर लिमिट. दिस सर्कल रिप्रेजेंट्स योर लिमिट. सो टुमारो व्हेन यू गो आउट, यू प्लान कि ओके मेरा लिमिट मैं अपना चेंज करने वाला हूँ. तो माई टारगेट टुडे इज 3 किलोमीटर्स. So when you pick that up, you will have a question: can I do it? And as I said, you'll bring in willpower to this point, and you'll bring a lot of focus. You'll struggle to get there, but you will get there eventually. And when you do that, your limit starts expanding. And when you reach that point and you do that 3 kilometers for the next 1 month, your belief keeps getting embellished. Your positive belief, I can't do 3 kilometers, starts becoming I can do it. I can do it. And I can do it. And this is how you move. If your verbal is weak, your maths is weak, you pick up your I can'ts. I can't read articles of the Guardian. Pick it up. Understand just 20% of it on the first day. Next day, 21% will be a victory. Don't focus on the loss of 79%. Don't focus on the 79% you're losing. Focus on the small victory. Yesterday I was understanding 20%. Today I'm understanding 21%. That's a big victory. Right? So with that, I will wind up this session. Yes, you can do courses, Abhishek. They'll always help you. They can never, and you don't need to take certificates for these courses. You can just do them for free. Knowledge is what is at premium, not certificates. So I hope you guys enjoyed this session, and I'll be back with you guys most probably tomorrow for the next. I think I'll close this course in the next 2 sessions. So please do attend the last couple of sessions, and we'll wind up this program, and then we'll move on to others. Meenakshi ma'am is starting reading comprehension and how to comprehend on I'm not sure, it's I think 20th of this month. Please keep checking. Subscribe to the channel and do press the bell icon. I think you can do it now, and you will get access. You'll get access to this thing. Yeah, obviously it will take time, Deepak. कुछ भी करने में, as Shah Rukh Khan very famously told us in that movie, hole hole ho jayega pyar. So everything is going to happen slowly. You can't rush things, right? Don't try to rush things. The best things in life come slowly to you. So allow the things to come to you. Give yourself time. There are no shortcut solutions. If your English is poor, it's not going to happen in 2 days. Give yourself 6 months. Give yourself a year. The process is defined. If your maths is poor, it's not going to happen in 2 days, right? So what you can join with us. The Telegram group, I'll just type those for you. What you can join for connecting with Mindworks. The Arun Sharma Aptitude channel. This is on Telegram. This is on Telegram. The Cat 100 Percentilers Club. Let me just see if I can open my Facebook somewhere and show it across to you. Which this is the group that you can join in. Yeah, the 100 percentilers club. You can join this group, and that's what you can join. And we'll be live from time to time on that. Of course, you are following our YouTube channel, so wo bhi kar lena follow. And of course, our website is mindworks.in. So for all the latest courses and latest events that are happening, you can keep referring to that. And that's about it for today. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this thing, and you got the idea of how to learn and how to change beliefs, right? So I don't want to spoil this video with talking about CAT processes. I might be live tonight on the Facebook group, so you can come in and join, and we might have some discussion on that dimension. Chalo, so I'll stop here. Thank you so much. Bye bye. See you.